Okay, so it's 3:07 on the 4th. And I swear to God, yesterday I said it was the 4th. But maybe it was 4:04 on the 3rd. I don't know. I don't remember. But today's the 4th. Today's the 4th. So, and, um, and there's a lot going on. So it's Saturday. Yesterday I did already pack most of my car. I took some stuff up to the storage. I moved all the storage around to get everything to the front so that it'll be easier to load the trailer on whatever day it is. Friday, I'm loading the trailer. Which I keep on thinking, man, if I get there early enough, I bet you I could get that thing loaded and get going and hurry up and go. And then I'd have all day to be able to unpack and organize stuff. And then, but no, I may as well not rush because all that Saturday, so Friday if I drive, because Saturday, because I don't pick up, I don't know, I gotta look at the thing, because maybe it would make more sense if I get there and then I pick her up and then just leave the next morning and get back on Sunday. That might be, so maybe I will do that. I'll leave earlier, go get the trailer, because I bet you, I mean, I already got the car loaded. All I gotta do is get the trailer on, go, and how much ever stuff I can fit in it. It shouldn't take that long. So I'm gonna, maybe I will do that. And then drive that day, get down there. Then the next day, be able to unpack and get all the stuff. But I still gotta look at the dates and when I'm doing it. Which I looked up about Richard Gere new movies. And it all says 2024. So I don't know what the motivation is, what his deal is, why he's saying stuff like that. It's just like, dude, check yourself. And also, speaking on the whole celebrities, which they put out a new Mandy Moore that everybody's freaking out about. And this Madonna too. I still can't even get over. But Harry, this guy who talks about the letter, and he's getting super smug and super like snotty about it. Hold on. Because he's sitting there saying like like laughing and chuckling to the truther community. Oh, you guys, you just can't believe anybody's good. You're so fooled and all this stuff. It's like, I think there's a lot of stuff that maybe he's forgetting about that was going on, because all the whole time, like, we didn't just pick these people out of the air. There was all sorts of evidence. There was all sorts of stuff coming out on all these different people. I'm pretty sure, I'm trying to think, because I keep going back and forth between Spielberg and Hanks. But there's a girl on Twitter. I can't remember her name now, but she, and I'm sure it was Hanks. And in but I was off of Twitter by 2020 when they kicked me off. That, it's like her name keeps trying to come in. But she was, and this could all be part of, like, if you listen to it, oh, it's all big show, it's all part of the show, it's all part of the show. Yeah, well, why was that letter telling everybody to go question things, look into this, look into that, if it weren't supposed to be stuff that we were supposed to find? So all these people are playing a part, so you're saying everybody in Hollywood just, oh, they're all good. Well, who was buying all this chrome then? Why did, what's his name, have a room? One of the stories Cappy told, what's his name, the little redhead actor, with his room, his hidden room that he takes the kids into. But this girl on Twitter, she had come out and said her dad sold her to Tom when she was like 10 years old. And there was lots of stuff. There's so much stuff. It's weird how he keeps being like, oh, because now, in case you haven't caught on, yeah, he came out and said, oh, no, Tom's great. Tom was trying to tell us the whole time. Tom was, he's one of the good guys. Tom, Oprah, Ellen, Madonna, all four of them. He's saying, oh, no, they're in on it. They're the good guys. It's like, well, I believe, from all the evidence I was seeing, that Tom was gone in 2021. There was a whole bunch of different stuff that was showing that kind of stuff. So, and I don't know, it's been so consistently to show Oprah doesn't give a fuck about people. It's like a thing in Hawaii. Well, what would be the point of, people are trying to escape the tsunami or the fires or whatever, and she blocks off her property and won't let people go up there. So that's just, well, let some people die. I'm such a good guy. It's like, what? I don't know. It's weird. It's like the whole thing I've been saying for a long time. You got to watch who you follow. You just got to be like, and you can't just get completely locked in. It's like, well, if Tom comes out and I was fooled, and, Tom fooled around me, it's like, whatever. I'm not going to, flip out about it. I don't see it. I don't see, like, I'm not in alignment with what Harry's saying, because there was a lot of buildup to that over years of all the evidence coming out on certain people. So, I don't know. It's really weird now. And he does it so arrogantly. So, like, God, you guys are so gullible. You're so crazy. And you believe that all these actors are bad guys and stuff. No, we don't believe every actor is a bad guy. But we do believe that there is some. Hollywood is a part of the system. It's like, what? I don't know. But, it's just I gotta listen to my own words. You gotta watch out who you follow along with. Because they just all of a sudden just flip and just like saying something. That he says some things that are good, but other things it's like, fuck no, dude. There was so much evidence before of different things with them. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, if they were to be a part to show the bad stuff there, I just don't even know. I think this whole thing though with Diddy though, I think is to show the judge who's involved. I think it's to show the judicial when they're giving him this low sentence and stuff. I think it's to expose that. And then right now there's like so much going on. So yesterday I saw video after video after video after video talking about the financial thing. And so all these different people were saying that at any moment that we should be hearing stuff, and that to be watching your emails, because we were going to start getting notifications and stuff. And the 10 day of darkness is the information to be contained. So there's information that we weren't getting. So it could be anywhere. It could be the 10 days of darkness. We could be past the 10 days of darkness. Everybody was talking about the 10 days of darkness. And some people know it's going to be no power. Who knows? Is just who knows? Like, I mean, it could still be ahead. They've got all sorts of WW3 drama going on, which to me, that stuff seems like it's all part of the show. Especially when you start talking about China and Russia. It's like they've signed on to the peace treaties. It's like, I don't. And then, it looked like something was in there. One more swig left. Then, so all that stuff, that kind of stuff, I was like, I don't believe that they are really fighting or threatening or anything like that. I do think that's part of the show. And there's lots of stuff about the real and exposing about that, which I just saw a girl doing a video saying, did you know that every woman, when she has a baby, she gets check. And then every year or every month or something, until that kid turns 18, she gets a check. And all of it comes from USA taxpayers. It's like, I knew that they've been misspending our fucking money. I knew that that was bullshit. Taxing us like this. When I was a kid, I was constantly questioning it. It's like, I don't get, and why don't we get a say over where the money goes? They just can take our money. It never made sense to me. And I knew it was corrupt. They could have been doing so much better. Fuck, look at China. It's like, fuck. And here, it's like, man, it's like Skid Row, America. So, hold on. It's so crazy, too, how many people are like, America's great. It's like, you're believing some propaganda, I'll tell you that. It is, it's like Skid Row of the globe, or there's no globe, but we call it globe. It's like the Skid Row of the earth plane. It's like, we were created to feed the beast, and that is what they have done. And I am sweating to death. I feel like I probably take my t-shirt off. I have a tank top underneath, but dang, man, I don't get how all of a sudden it becomes so hot in here. My tea's not that hot. It's like one cup should make me hot. I sit here and drink a couple and it doesn't do shit. So anyways, there's so much bullshit. And Donald keeps putting out these funny videos, and then you see one side talk about it, they always are like, oh my God, he's such a psycho. On the other side, it's hilarious. The stuff he does is hilarious. They are missing so much out of the humor of what's going on. But anyways, yesterday he was playing, he was blasting from the White House on the big speakers. He was blasting Are You Lonesome Tonight by Elvis. And somebody said, go listen to the words. So I went and listened to it. And in part of it, it says, the world is a stage. I'm just a player. And it's the whole thing where I was like, oh, I wonder if this is what he's playing it for. Because it's like, kind of like, you don't see me for who I really am kind of thing. I don't know. You can listen to it and interpret it the way you want. But you know, he's blasting it. And I was telling my mom, and she said the day before he was blasting the Mexican traditional song. I can't remember what I keep wanting to say jumping bean, but I don't know, some song that is a traditional Mexican one, but I guess that was a slam to this, that Muslim guy who, I don't know, I think he's like, well, I'm going to be president. I don't know. He's outspoken, kind of liberal, I guess. But anyways, there's all shenanigans about that guy, which when him to be playing that music, like, I don't know all the different stuff. Like, I don't know what all their different battles have been going with them to, why he would say that, because now he keeps putting him out like wearing a sombrero. His mustache. Even in this one video where it was it's like this old song, and it's done over. The Grim Reaper. I am the Reaper or something. But he keeps showing this sombrero. This guy with this mustache, and it is some kind of slam to him. And so I don't know what the battle is between them. But I was like, I wonder if it's because this guy has ties to the CARTL. If that's not who's funding some of his stuff, and that's why he's gonna show. I just saw a guy who was talking about Barron has a new girl who he's courting, and showing a picture of her, and the guy was like, she's obviously Mexican, or Latin, some kind of Latin from somewhere. And this guy, he's also a Hispanic, and he was like, oh, I bet he's really made Donald mad now. It's so weird how people believe that Donald is racist. He's not even racist. It's the weirdest thing. I mean, you hear these people saying stuff. It's like, I really don't think he would care that his son's going out with some Hispanic girl. It's like, I think that he would be a lot more, you know, you pick who you love. Look at, he's always gone out with immigrants. It's just like so weird. And, but to me, that's kind of like the song he was playing, like, you guys just don't see me at all. So anyways, but there's more going on that kind of stuff. Like, um, you know, kind of like this message is that things are about to change. And the what was it? I've got so many things coming into my mind, so I feel scattered. And it's intense anyways. I guess there is a full moon, because when I opened the garage door, I could see it. But man, last night was weird. Every fucking night is so weird. And the fucking, and there's certain weird dreams on these weird nights that are just like, fuck, almost like nightmares or something. It's so, you know, you can't, and it's hard to get comfortable. It's just, everything is weird. And it just goes and goes. I don't know. So, anyways, I can't remember. But anyways, he keeps putting out these clues that shit's going down and time's up and things are about to change and stuff. And, so on the money thing, everybody kept saying that this is, going. I don't remember all the different things. Like, there's lots of people who follow it, I guess. They have big accounts and stuff. And people are saying, you know, I don't know what all the signs are and stuff, but that they are saying, so by Sunday night, they're feeling sure that we're going to get some kind of notification. So to be watching your emails and stuff like that. And that Monday and Tuesday, they're going to start calling people into redemption centers. And they may call people with foreign currency first to go into an exchange. And then start calling the rest of us. And then it's going to be getting appointments to the med beds and stuff, which I saw lots of stuff, lots of videos on the med beds yesterday. And they were saying, one of the things, I've been saying this stuff for a long time, but it was saying like everything, you know, any part of you that's been cut off, cut out, or any of that kind of stuff will be grown back. Everything in your cells will be healed and everything will be healthy. Like, you're going to go into the thing, whatever you got going, every single disease that you could have, every, you know, you got amputation, anything, you're going to come out whole and new with everything back to the way it should have been. And God, I'm just having this weird ache in my arm. Which somebody just told me that somebody had 50% blockage in their kidneys. So I want to remind people again that you got to do the detoxing. Your kidneys, your liver, and all that is a filter system inside your body to filter out the toxins. When you're being overrun by toxins nonstop, you've got to clear the system. You got to take out, just imagine, well, it used to be in cars, there was air filters for the carburetors and stuff. You know, to take them out and clean them and put in new ones and stuff. In your air conditioner system or heater system, there's filters. You got to take those out. And some I think can clean, some you don't. Some, there's water filters, and some you just got to throw away, and some you can clean. But you have to recognize that's in your body. You have a filter system, and most people don't do much to clean it out, which I saw a girl talking about just drinking, like, I don't even remember how much she said. It was a lot, like 8 32-ounce glasses of water a day. But you got to watch out overdoing water, because you can get water toxification too, where you just like drown yourself in water, like everything just becomes too much. So listen to your body. Don't just follow what somebody tells you, but increase your water. And I saw a thing, it was beet juice, because I'm always paying attention. Oh, I take that, I take that, I take that, I take that. There's so many of the things that I already take, but beet juice has got a lot of good benefits. Dandelion, and this one detox drink, I can't really for sure remember all this stuff, I don't think, but it had like, take a beet, and put that in the blender. Take a carrot, put that in the blender, cut it up and stuff. Put that in the blender, a little lemon and orange, and it seemed like there was two other ingredients. Ginger, some ginger. It seems like there was another ingredient, but I can't remember. It might have been cranberries or something. But blend them all up and then put it through a strainer and drink the juice. And that will clean out your filter system. And then also on top of the toxins, you've got all the critters. And so you've also got to be doing things to get rid of the critters, clearing those things out. So many people, they don't know. They just don't even, and they just continue going just with a buildup of toxins and critters inside of them. And so it's just important to be mindful of things that are also good for you. And it's not all things that are not good for you and want to enjoy all the things, but you got to do stuff to clear out stuff. So, but anyways, I mean, we still may be close to the thing, but that's going to be the, I think we're going to go into a world where we're not having to fight all these toxins and stuff like that. But it's still, you have to take care of yourself. And that's the thing is like, it's not going to be like you get to go into the med bed, heal everything, then you got to go just destroy yourself and then go back and say, hey, put me through again. It isn't, because I feel like that there's people out there who would live like that, who would just go and not take care of themselves, not do anything positive for themselves. And then they would just show back up and say, here, I need another detox. Give me another one. It's like you have to be in the mindset of also wanting to participate in your own health. So, I don't know, because I wasn't hearing anybody yesterday talking about, they're going to vibrate, check your vibration before you get to go in. It was just like, oh, that's the cure for everything. It's the cure for everything. And there's so many people sick, and they may, maybe they're going to talk to people beforehand and explain to them, like, this is, you got to go in here and you are going to have to take care of yourself after this. Like, you can't, go gain 100 pounds and then go in here, lose it, and then go back and gain 100 and go back and forth, back and forth. You got to work on the cause, and the effect would be the weight gain, but the cause would be your dysfunction or your toxic behavior, and you got to go deeper into your own toxic behaviors to really be able to stop them. That's why I said before, like, you got to recognize your own patterns, the things that you do, not just it's everybody else's fault that I have this problem or that problem. It's like, what is my part that I'm playing in this whole pattern? What am I doing? What am I getting out of this? What am I getting out of this toxic relationship? Because there's something, there's some reason you're in it. There's something you're getting out of it. And it could be something just like feeling like you're better than them. You're the better person. You need to go around and tell everybody this, how you suffer in life because you have to deal with this. You're getting something out of it right there. You're getting empathy and sympathy from all these people because you go around as a drama queen telling everybody about all your problems. And then they build you up and build you up. And so that's a dysfunction. That is a toxic behavior. That is a negative pattern. So you have to go and recognize them. And once you recognize them, that's when you can do something to change your patterning so that you don't continue in the same way. And then these relationships will fall away. But those are the hard things that you have to look at for yourself. The parts of you that you have to see and recognize. The parts that where you're kind of cringy, like, oh, I don't like that. I don't like, why would I, oh, God, I can't believe I do that. Can't believe I'm like that. But that also is the other thing of like, you have to learn how to forgive yourself. You can't sit there and beat yourself down. And you got to remember, we all have these things. And, oh, that was one thing too. It said in the med beds that it turns on all your DNA. And so people are going to suddenly realize why they're here. And they're going to be able to remember and access all their past lives. So you're going to be able to have total recall on all your past lives. Now, I don't know if that's true. It'd be cool as fuck. You're going to be able to just go in and remember like every library book you've ever checked out and every situation and every part you've ever played. It would help you for sure to be able to understand yourself in a deeper way. But maybe that's why, people won't go in and get healed and then go be toxic again, because they're going to remember and things are going to make sense to them and they're not going to be chasing their own tail. They're going to actually be able to stop, drop, and heal. So it's, so I don't know, I don't know, but I was really feeling super excited yesterday because it kept seeming like, oh my God, all the signs are here. All these different things that these people are talking about and what's going on here and what's going on there. It does seem like it's super close, like it could be this week, which that's too funny too. What a damper, like what a thing it would put into my whole thing with the move. But they've said that our banking thing has already been put into the system. So it's already on the new system. But they said that there's going to be, that's when the money thing. So the things I was hearing yesterday about the money thing. One thing is so it said that every, in like that, all this is stuff I was hearing. Like this is just what people are saying. So you take it with a grain of salt. But that, one of the things is on the mortgages. And they said that because the interest is a scam. And so all the interest you've ever paid, so every house you've ever owned, all the interest you paid on that house, all that money is going back to you. And all that money, so whatever you owe on the house presently, they're going to take that money, pay that debt off, and then you keep the rest. And then you just keep all the money. And then also your birth certificate, you have a number on the back of it, and you've been a product of trade the whole time. That's what your number's about. And so that money is going back to people. And that's why the older people will get a big payout, because they've been being traded on their whole lives and interfered with, and it's like a big game. And we just don't even realize. So that money is going to be going back to the people. So it's going to clear out all your debts, and you're going to owe your houses outright. It's going to drop off the all of your different loans and credit cards and everything, because of the way that they did the loans and stuff, because it's corrupt, it's criminal, and they were fucking us all. So anyways, I thought, oh, that's good, like to get, and I'm really curious to see too how they handle this, where they've taken houses away from us. And so because it's all been done in all this corrupt stuff, which I kind of feel like my house that's over there on the west side is still just sitting there. I don't think they've done anything. I get notifications all the time. Oh, I could sell my house, I could do this, I could do that, your house is worth this. And it's like, because there's not a congruent thing between around the counties and stuff, and the corrupt things that they do. It's not, they don't have all of the stuff, so they can do this, and this, but they can't do this. So anyways, it won't surprise me at all if I get that house back. I wouldn't go back and live in it, because I was even thinking about that. As I was thinking, man, if all of a sudden this week, I mean, I've already packed my car. I told my daughter yesterday, she's like, so when are you leaving? And I said, next Friday. She goes, you got your car packed for the whole week? I said, yeah, well, I needed to see how much stuff would fit. It's like, because I'll sit there and look at it, the boxes, and it's like, it drives me crazy. I got to go out and see. So I've got my car all loaded. I've gotten in the car. I can see, all these different, like, I've got it all. And one thing, too, that I noticed, because I was station wagon, and it was like, I swear to God, if I put the thing up, because you would think having it down, having a big flat area, that would hold more. No, I don't think so, not at all. I put the seat up, and I filled the back seat, the floor, the whole thing. So the floor, the seat, and everything up to the top of the seat. Then the back part, then I filled that whole thing up to the same level. And so, and then I still have my passenger seat to fill. So I haven't filled that yet. But I gotta go this week to the groomers, and I was gonna take Max to get a bath, and so I need to have a spot for him. Once I get back with that, then I'm gonna go load that. I'll be all packed up, and then I'll have to drive down to get the trailer, and they gotta put a hitch on and stuff. Well, they've already got the hitch, but they gotta put the ball on. So I'll have to buy a ball, get ball on, and then pick up the trailer, then drive back. Then I swear to God, I bet you I haven't loaded in 2 hours. I really think that that should be my way, so I can just go ahead and leave that morning. But anyways, so the what was I gonna say? The something with the money, the oh, because I was thinking if all of a sudden things do change and this is the week where everything starts going in like this big collapse, which that is supposedly a big whole thing with this shutdown, has to do with this, you know, crashing this, crash that, crash, and laying off these employees. We're closing this down. We're doing this. We're doing that. It's all part of it, apparently. And then so the but so if all of a sudden they say, okay, well, you know, you've got this much money, I was like, man, because I'd want to have a place to go right now. So would I just buy a house? And or would it be better to wait and buy one, because there's going to be, I mean, to jump in and try and buy one real quick might be stupid, because there's going to be such a drop in prices once they go through this reevaluation thing. And so houses would be so much cheaper. Or do I just plan on building one out there on the river? And which, to me, it seems like maybe that's what I should do. Just go out there, move into the apartment, and then as the money thing goes, then start getting it set up. But I was like, dang, it'll be so hard to find contractors and builders. That was creepy. God, they're so creepy lately. I don't know what that was. The other day I heard something sound like an explosion too. I was like, it is going to be hard to find contractors to do the work. So we might be smarter to buy a house that's already built. Because I could, you know what I could do? Is I could just buy a manufactured home real quick and just have it moved out there. But that's going to be a thing too. When all these people start having money, there's going to be like a thing where, you know, people aren't going to be going to work. But I think that's one reason why it's not going to be like they're going to pay all these people all a huge payout at different ages, because they need. Because I also heard another thing that they, and this is, there were so many videos, I'm not even kidding you, so many. And so I don't know, it was just like one after another, because one thing said that 52 is going to be the retirement age for women, and it is with 30 years of work, your automatic payout is going to be like $4,857 or something per month for your retirement. And so see, the younger people, so if that was 52, so it would be like with the idea of starting work when you're like 22, so working those years. But then also there's the whole thing about him trying to keep more women at home and keep more families in structured, you know, so we don't have such a mess. So younger women will be paid for staying home with their kids and teaching their kids, but I don't know. We'll see how all this stuff plays out. And so I don't know. But that was what I had heard before, though. The retirement money is going to go way up to like $5,000. So the but they do. But that would also, if they retire all these people, so if all these women and who've been working and working and working, single moms and all that stuff, that they say, hey, you can retire now, and give them this money, then that opens up a lot more jobs for other people. But there's going to be a whole restructuring of jobs, because a lot of jobs are going to be taken by AI, and it's going to be a lot more about skilled labor and stuff like that, things that you're good at, and you're being paid well for the things that you are good at for yourself. Like, you are your own marketing thing, it's you. And so it would open up more jobs for younger people who want to get out there and, make their way, figure out what they're good at, try some things. And so, but you could, I bet you could get one of those manufactured homes and get it moved out there quick, and then have a house. And they make some really cool ones out here at this, where my mom is on the lake. When you got all the mansions right on the lake, but out in the neighborhood things, tons and tons of manufactured homes. Where I was like, when I very first started seeing, I was like, man, that's cute, that's good. They really upgraded those, and that would be, the quickest, easiest way to get a house out there is just buy a pre-made house and have them just move it out there and put it on. All you have to do then is get your foundation stuff, and he already has a lot of stuff plumbed out there. He's already got the septic and all that stuff, so I just have to get a foundation and get one. But I was really interested in those what are they called, the kit houses, the kit log houses. Oh my God, there's some cute ones. So I don't know, but I was like, maybe that would, if we got money this week, that would change it a little bit. But I still, man, there's some weird noise out there. I still feel like I would go in the direction that I was going. I would still head out to the river, because that's really what I really want to do, is live on the river. I want to live by the water. And the only downside to it right now to me is the thorns, which, oh, and there's lots of ticks, where I was like, oh, I need to get some possums. Get some possums out there, transplant some possums, because possums are the best tick eaters, I guess. And which my mom said, well, we had a lot of ticks in Kansas, and we had a lot of possums. But maybe you would have less ticks because you had so many possums. Maybe there's less ticks there would have been. So I don't know. But my brother said there's lots of ticks. They have Lyme disease even. And that there's, and I already know about these freaking thorn things. But still, being able to clear all the land and then put down some kind of ground cover. Like, I'm never really into grass. I went against the grass thing a long time ago. It was like, once I got divorced, this was way back. Fuck. This was before my brain injury. And I got divorced, and I had to go out and mow the yard all the time. And when I see these women, I can't do this. I can't keep up with this. Like, I was taking care of kids. My adult daughter moved in with her daughter. And she had so many issues going. And I had my own 2 teenagers. And then I had worked. I was workaholic. I worked way over 40 hours. And then I would go do all the grocery shopping. I would go buy groceries all the time. And which some women say they can't even get that done. And then I would mow the yard. I would do all the stuff. But when I would mow the yard, that's when I started thinking, like, this is weird. This is very strange. Weeds grow, they just grow. They create a ground cover, and they grow without any effort. And but grass doesn't make any sense, and you got to go out and do it. Like, I remember it being like it was in a neighborhood, and people would get all uptight about like the dandelions and stuff like that. And anyways, I was just thinking, how odd it is. Why do we plant grass, but we have to do all this work on it when weeds want to be there? I just kept thinking, this is so strange. But then I had looked up, or I'd seen, especially more recently, I remember seeing it, was that grass, this is kind of came, I don't know, I think from the royals or something, from like the elite or something, that instead of having your yard be a garden and having all your food there, that they made this big trend of, you know, you were way more uh, above it all when you put in grass, because what the fuck, you could grow some food or you could have grass, you gotta have big upkeep. So it was like all of a sudden all these people started putting grass in their lawns to look more sophisticated or something. And but it's all a huge manipulation. So the whole thing with grass just started out as a whole manipulation, it sounds like to me. Which this old video, so it was like from 2022, I think, or 2024, but it went through my thing today, and it was showing the map, and everything is backwards and upside down. They changed north, south, east, and west. On the old maps, it's in a different thing, and every place is on the other side from where it would be. And then also, I heard more about the pole shift thing, and I've said all this stuff before, but it's going to switch. So where it was cold is going to become really hot, and then where it was hot, it's going to become cold. But so up here in up in the top North America and Canada and stuff is going to become more tropical, and down south it's going to become more cold. But then I also heard it's not going to become like like the frigid temperatures that they've been doing, like with their weather machines and stuff. But there's going to be a switch when the shifts, when the pole flips. And I think that it had been, I kept thinking it had been changing for a while, but now this winter is supposed to be super frigid, but it could be that have to do with their manipulation and stuff, which I've been complaining, like of whatever, the sickness. And then I just saw a video of a woman talking about that. She lives in New York, and she had her window open, and she noticed that they were spraying something, and so she didn't think that much about it. And then her cat started having a runny nose and doing, like, all this snot was coming, all this weird stuff, and she said she started feeling it too, and she thought she just had allergies, but she's like, I wonder what's going on with the cat. So she said she was sitting there on scrolling, I don't remember if she said Instagram or TikTok or something, and then she saw all these other people talking about that they were having that, and so she went, and they were talking about the chemicals outside. And so she went and closed her window, and she said within a couple hours her cat stopped and she felt fine. And so the whatever, I mean, they're definitely spreading stuff on us that is making us sick. And then in cities where it's more condensed like that, they just go down the streets. Oh, well, we got to spray for bugs, we got too many rats, we got too much of this or whatever. But when you're further out, like in the suburbs and stuff, I think it's got to be in the skies. So, I don't know, because tons and tons of people have been doing videos. Like, I thought that this spraying was supposed to stop, and they're just showing, like, look at this, look at this, look at this. And Donald is cutting funds. So he said he's cutting funds to all these places, and he's ending this, climate tax bullshit thing. And so I bet you that's where they get the money to do it. And I bet you a lot of these states that we are getting this going is that's the money that pays for it, because they're got to save the world by killing us all. And so but I know my state, well, now I'm going to be living in Idaho, but Washington and California, Oregon, Colorado, New York, New Hampshire, like a whole huge list. And he's cutting their funds, and which is going to cause a big drama because people don't realize, no, he's cutting the funds of the stuff that they're doing to hurt us. And people keep thinking that he's screwing us, and it's like, no, it's the opposite. It's the opposite of what you think. he's cutting the funds to the people who are screwing us, because they just sit there and screw us, and then they blame him as the monster. It's the craziest shit. And so anyways, but I was thinking, you know, if this money does come this week, that would be my thing, is I would rather move into a house than move into this apartment thing. But if I have to move into the apartment while I get a house built, I would do that. But I still think I would go to the same place. I don't think I would try and get a place here or anything. And I think there's going to be a huge influx here. And because I still 100% believe the West Coast is up for big issues. And when the shit starts going down, that all the people are going to be going inland and even down more. Because when you look at the map, like if you took all the people like on California, and then so Oregon, and then Washington, so you take the whole coastline, and then shit goes down, whatever's going to go. There's a lot of speculation, of course, that's going to be the earthquakes that's going to set off the volcanoes and the tsunamis, and it's just going to be Disasterville. And so, but it could be the earthquake set off the volcanoes. It could be a whole assortment thing. I would think it would be the earthquaking, and that's going, but I think the volcanoes are already getting activity, but it's all underneath us. So, in the, but I would think the earthquake, and then it would set off the tsunami, and then it's going to just become like, as soon as stuff goes, people are going to start heading out, because it's going to be just disaster after disaster. So as soon as that starts and the people start evacuating, which is going to be a problem trying to leave in cars because of the traffic, and then there will be a shortage problem with gas. So that's where we're going to have all the scatter of all these cars on highways and stuff, and people are going to be trying to escape by foot. And yeah, I was just all of a sudden seeing all these ranches that need to move their horses. It's like, freaking get everybody a saddle and tell everybody, get on a horse and take off, go. Save the horses and save the people. And that would be the way to go, because they can go through all sorts of terrain. You don't have to just go on the freeway, because the freeways are going to be fucked. Because even if you got enough gas, there's going to be just dead cars in front of you everywhere. So it's going to be fuckery. Definitely horseback, because a lot of people are just going to have to be walking. And then, so there's going to be this mass exodus of people leaving, traumatized from all the things that they're going through, still trying to get through stuff, because the West Coast over in Washington State, you got to cross over the pass that is all these earthquakes. I mean, all these volcanoes. So you got to leave the tsunami area to go through the volcano area to get to you got to go through the plains, which is kind of deserty, and then to get over to the East Coast, or the east side of the state. And in the new map, that it's half of Washington State isn't there, so you got to go through a lot of bullshit to get over to where it's going to be safe zone. And then when it going down, it chunks out even bigger. Like, I think it's Colorado's mostly gone, Nevada, Arizona's gone, part of New Mexico's gone, some of Utah, like some of this, most of the states are gone. So it's like it goes down like this, but then where California is, it goes in a big thing like that. So all these people, they would be headed going out, but then they would have to shift and go up. So this area right here is going to have a lot of people, a lot of people going to it. So it makes sense, you know, to me, to move outside of that area, because there's going to be so many people trying to get to that area. So anyways, because, and I don't know, I mean, the quickest places to get to will be all along Washington State, and possibly down into Idaho. I'd have to look at the map again, because I'm sure that the place where I'm going is on the map too. But there could be people that are going into that area too. But anyways, it's going to be that area up there is where all the whole people are going to all have to go up here. If they try and go over to there, well, I don't know. It depends on how the water comes in. Because if they have to cross, that's a long ways to get over to like Oklahoma and Kansas, to go from there all the way over there. And that's supposed to be all this water. So, I don't know. We'll see how it goes, but it's going to be some fuckery. I guess, too, if it does, the government's more on our side when this stuff starts going. I would think that they would start sending over rescue missions, like Army helicopters or something, and go down and pick up groups of people, fly them into different places. Maybe they would fly them into other places where they have family, but they're still going to be, even on the other coastline, the East Coast is going to be getting cut down, and then the Mississippi is going to widen, and then who knows if it's all going to go at once, or if it's going to be, this is going to happen over there, then this is going to happen over there. It's just going to be like boom, 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 boom. I don't know. But if the money thing is about to change, I still feel like that they're going to make incentives to try and get people to move to certain areas. And if they do that, it would, to me, be areas, I think if we looked at the areas that they are trying to get us to move into, that we would see, oh, this is on the new map. So they're trying to get people to go to places that are safe. And so there isn't so much chaos. So we'll see. We'll see how it all plays. I'm just really hoping that it really is the weekend where it all changes. And next week we start going in a new direction. And it made me really excited this morning too, when I woke up and I thought about like, oh my gosh, Stella made it. If we get to go to the med beds now, because there's so many times where I was like, oh my God, is she going to make it? Is she going to make it? And right now she seems like she's doing so well. And, so anyways, I'm just, and I saw another thing too, where this was an astrology guy, and he said that, something about this weekend, and then he said, 6th and 7th, so Monday and Tuesday, which is supposed to be these big days, confirmation. He said that definitely stay focused on positive stuff, because things are going to be manifesting instantly. So if you are real negative and scared, all that stuff is going to just start going boom, 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 which I don't know. But really start focusing on the positive stuff you want. And, just think about, like, the money. Like, fuck. Don't sit here and think, oh, we'll never get it. I'll never get what I want. I'll never have anything. Don't do that. Think, like, wow, what if? What if I all of a sudden had $1 million? What would I do? Where would I go? What would I buy? What would I get? How would I live? How would it change my life? What would I do different? Start thinking in that direction. Not, oh, I'll never get it. Think of, what if I had it? What if I had it? What am I going to do? That's what I'm doing. And yesterday when I went up, to my mom a few times, I was like, oh my God, this video saying this is saying this. I was like so excited. And she's like, yeah, well, don't tell me when, or that they are saying, this is gonna happen. Tell me when it happens. And I said, because she's in that negative, well, it's never gonna happen. No, they say this, but it's never gonna happen. And so I was like, yeah, but what if it does? What would you do? And she's, well, I would get my white pickup. And even if I can't drive, I said, yeah, but you'll be able to drive. You're going to get your sight back. You're going to have your sight back. You're going to reverse age. You're going to feel so much better. Everything is going to change. And get, she was getting more excited about, like, and that's what you got to do, is get focused on the positives, what if something good happens? And she said, but this is the buildup of how we've been programmed to experience life. She said, oh, well, probably they'll give us all this money, then they'll line us all up and just take us all out. It's like, That's what we've been programmed to think. If we get anything good, that's the end. So those are the programs that you got to break. So you got to try and really get focused on the positives and seeing things in a more positive light. But yeah, we've been programmed to think like, well, if anything goes good, you know something bad's going to be happening. So, and there's going to be things happening. I mean, this is a big time of change. It's not just this money thing that's going to change. Our landscape's going to change. People's attitudes are going to change. A lot is going to change. All the future of humanity is going to change. And there's going to be so much introduction to new technologies. And then there's going to be when the people realize how much stuff has been withheld from them. But I saw somebody saying that as soon as they get these beds out, that's going to be the collapse of the whole corporation of the medical, which it would be. Because who's going to be going? And who's going to be taking these? Who's going to be doing any of the bullshit? No, nobody's going to. It's going to crash the whole thing. Thank God. But when people start finding out, like, oh, they've been able to do this, they've held this back so that we would go and pay for money and have these things. What was, and I keep seeing so many bad medical things. Like, there's the one, and the girl just won this lawsuit. It is crazy. Some of this medical malpractice stuff. So weird thing happened. So she went outside and was walking, and somehow she tripped or something, and she flipped her leg backward. So her leg went the wrong direction. And so it's like our knees are supposed to bend out. It bent out the wrong way. So it went the other way. And they had little kids, so she had to take the ambulance by herself and go to the hospital. Her husband had to stay with the kids. And so she got there. They didn't even take her into a room or anything. They just put her in the hall. And she said, even though she came in an ambulance, they still just put her in the hall. She said she laid in this hall for, it's like 6 hours or something, screaming. She said she was screaming in agonizing pain. And they weren't doing anything. They wouldn't even give her a pain pill. Nothing. And so finally, somebody came in, or they took her to a room or something. I think it was like in the morning, the next morning or something. And they had like a vascular surgeon come in and look or something. And because, I think at first they told her her knee was, she had a dislocation. And then they had to come in. I don't remember. This lady's thing was hellacious. It was hellacious. It was like 6 different surgeons came in. She went through multiple different surgeries. The whole thing had been, it wasn't just a dislocation. Her whole knee had dislocated. Every single ligament in her leg had ripped. It was that everything was messed up. Her whole fucking leg, the vascular system. Oh, that's what it was. They found a blood clot in the first, when they took her in to do this thing. And they did a test, and then they saw there was blood clot. Then they had to do more tests, and then this surgeon came in, and it was just one after another. Nobody could do anything. Nobody could fix it. She was getting so frustrated. She'd been through so many surgeries. She had 13 bags of blood. They had put, I can't even remember. The list was so extreme, and she asked to be changed to a different hospital. Nothing was getting fixed. So they sent her to the hospital in the city. And then, so she went there, and the surgeon came in and looked over her stuff, looked over everything, and said, we'll try and save your leg, but I don't know that we can. And so she went in to do another surgery. She had 3 more bags. And then and every bag is a risk, man. Every one of those could be carrying anything. Don't forget what they was carrying a long time ago, back in the 80s. That was the big introduction of the AIDs, and in the mainstream. Because before that, it was either monkeys or gay guys. But then all of a sudden, it was this. And so she, the surgeon couldn't save it or whatever, and she said she would try and keep it down. Like she was going to have to cut it off. She was going to try and keep it down to her knee, but she said it was just too messed up. There was too many things wrong. So she had to take it all the way up. And then their insurance didn't give her a very good prosthetic. She just had one thing after another. And they got a lawyer right away. And in 3 years, she got her settlement. And so now she can get a better leg and stuff. But I was like, this is the perfect thing. And she, oh man, and the surgeries and stuff they had to do go all the way up. So it goes all the way up. She's got scars going all the way up. I think it had to do with the vascular part. And so she's just got a wreck. But I was like, that's the perfect thing where the med beds are going to be able to go in, fix all that, and grow her leg back. So, but still, all the things that you learn when you go through the problems and all the changes it creates in our society and the system and stuff. So there's lots of people going through things, but there's going to be a better solution than just getting a good prosthetic leg. There's going to be these beds that she's going to be able to go in and just grow it back. So that's going to be a blessing. So many people, even people who have birth defects and stuff, they're going to go in and they can have all that stuff. Like there's not going to be people who have got, it's like a whole new world. Like, because part of the world now is for each soul to go in and have all these different experiences, because it's all experiences. Even when you see handicapped people, it's not because they came out with something wrong and they would have been a regular soul otherwise. No, it's that soul came in to experience what it is to be in the world and be handicapped and be different than other people, to have these obstacles that you have to. Can you overcome this? Can you do that? That's what it's about. It's not like these people are broken. It's like it's just a different way of life, a different way of existence that the soul wants to experience. That's why it exists. It's root for experience. And people think like, well, it's, a mistake. It's a broken thing or something. No, it's not. It's not in the least bit. So, so that's like a reevaluation of the context of living and the experiences that create what life is. Because when you live through your spirit, then you can recognize that is, so the spirit can come in and experience things that are not typical. Here comes that fly. When is it going to die? For fuck's sake. Yesterday, I got so many. This bee, and I don't know, it seems like there's two. They had found my honey. So they've decided this is where they come to eat. I've got all my honeys covered with plastic, but they don't stop. They're just coming in. I feel kind of sorry for them. Like, are they just starving? I feel like they're like putting out something for them. Maybe I should just squirt some honey out on a thing and leave it outside. Maybe they'll stay there. But anyways, they just come right up into my face nonstop. I'm constantly yelling at them, I will fucking kill you. Get the fuck out of here. So I don't want to kill a bee. It's like, bitch, leave me alone. God. I'm constantly making threats on him. I'll murder you. It's like I sound like a crazy person. The dogs are always like, and they always know, because they don't know what I'm getting mad about. Anyway, but I feel like I got so much done yesterday. Oh my God, I feel like I'm so far ahead. Just getting all this stuff moved around in the storage thing, getting my bed pulled up, getting the table cleared, all the things that I plan on getting in that trailer. It's like, oh my gosh, it's going to go so much more smoother, I feel like. And I can't wait to see how much stuff I can fit in it. But anyways, this week, but start imagining, what you would do, because that is also can be how it manifests, that we all start really thinking in that direction of like, oh, I would do this, I would do that. And don't hold yourself back, just like my mom with her, thinking she'll still have limitations, she won't be able to see and stuff. It's like, no, you're going to be able to see. You'll be able to do all sorts of things. You can be able to live different. And so anyways, get excited. even if we go through this week, because then I saw in the comments, somebody said, "Oh, you guys say this all the time." Donald himself said things are going to change in November. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, this has been dragging on for so long, but I feel like this is the closest we've been so far. like, like we can see the finish line, it feels like. So I think we should be getting excited. We should be pulling this energy, pulling ourselves towards this energy, really trying to fit into this energy, really trying to expand this energy and to interject ourselves in the possibility of good things happening, in the possibility of abundance and being able to live free. But I do think that the shifts in the workplace will open up a lot for younger people to be able to step in and start being productive parts of the world. And then maybe, the other people can start learning to give more respect to these people. There's so much lines, so much generational barriers. They've created so much division in this world. It's a mess. It's sad. But there will be shifts, I think, to definitely start bridging the gaps and bringing us all together. But you, as the individual being, have to also be open to love and loving people and respecting everybody. Don't get caught up in this, oh, they don't deserve this. They do this. They do that. Is there so much of that goes on both sides? It's not just this side, and then not just this side. It's just the back and forth, back and forth. It is like a volleyball. It's like the volleyball, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And the players in the game, they're on different sides. It is like a big old giant, what is that called? When you go and there's a whole bunch of different games going on and all these different ones, that is what it is like. I can't think of what it's called, but when you do sports and stuff and you go, then there's like a whole thing of it. But even in chess, I think they have those, a tournament kind of thing. And so it has like all these different games going at once. And then it keeps whittling down and whittling down. Yeah, it does. It gets smaller and smaller. And then pretty soon it's just these two opponents playing each other back and forth. And that's what we need to do, is keep whittling this down and whittling this down and bringing our communities back together, which I just feel certain about. So much of this shutdown is exposing, and because that's part of, I saw too yesterday on the Nassar Gazar thing, it is part of the thing in it is like to get it to a small, like 10% of the government of what we have now, and it's going to all mostly be just local. This federal thing was just an umbrella to suck us all into a big laundry system. And so much more with the real is being exposed, and the blues and the real and stuff. There's so much more being exposed about that. And there's another, like a comedian or something, and he came out on some show and he said, "I'm not suicidal. I'm," all this whole thing where people were like, why are all these people having to do this? And especially after the Charlie thing, which is still more weird shit with Erica. Which I just, because now people are like, well, find a picture of her pregnant. Somebody please find a picture of her pregnant. I don't know. I don't know what Charlie's deal was. I don't know if, all I know is that my introduction to that channel, when I would be hearing, all I heard was division and hate, division and hate. And we're the hierarchy. Well, we've got God on our side. We're the right ones. The rest of these people, they need to just give it up and come to our side. They have no worth and all that. But that's also a part of the music that goes with that side. You should go listen to that music. And if you're not worthy, you're a piece of shit. Nothing you do is good. So, but that is what I would hear when I would hear those podcasts, was just like constantly making fun of the other side, saying how worthless and stupid and all that stuff, and just hateful, and it's just very divisive. No solutions of bringing people together, just constantly opening the gap bigger and bigger and bigger. So I I don't know what Charlie's deal was. If it was, to pull people into this cult, pull people more into the control under the rule, and if she is some honeypot handler chick or whatever, and it's all a facade, his whole family. But I still don't think he's gone. I still think this was a big show. And and if it really is that they're a real couple and love each other and stuff, I think that's why she's not showing big signs of mourning and stuff, is because he's not really gone. It's all a big show. So, and maybe she's just not a great actress, or maybe she's supposed to be playing it like this because it does get a lot of people talking. It does get a lot of attention. So, I don't know. But but there's another. So Donald, he has a woman who is in charge of researching or something with the UFOs and UAPs and stuff like that. And she was just on Joe Rogan. And so she said a bunch of stuff. And she said, well, there's not really aliens that are out there. She said what it is multidimensional beings. What have I been saying? This whole motherfucking time. And so anyway, she's brought, you guess you can go listen to the show. I only saw a clip. But that is what I've been saying. Everything is dimensions and stuff. And then people are now saying that the Atlas is going to be here in 2 weeks. And that there's all sorts of shows that they're shutting down this, they're not showing this, and NASA's to turn this off. There's all sorts of stuff going on. So they could all be there leading into this big, because there was all that talk about they were going to do this big fake alien invasion thing. So it could be all this leading us into that they're going to do that. If they do that, you just got to remember what it is. Don't get scared over whatever it is that they do. If they start having shit flying over your house and stuff like that, there's nothing to be scared of. Like the real beings, the multi-dimensional beings, they are on our side. So it's not that the people who aren't on our side are the Vamps, the Z's, and which is an extension of the governments, the corporations and stuff, where the government and the corporations are extension of the Vamps and the Z's. So those people are not on our side. Those people are out to get us. And so whatever goes on, if it is that they come in and they start, lasering us, I would think if they came and they started doing that, I would think that there would be a big show that would go down, and the good ones would come in and start attacking those ones. That would be what I would think. That they would come in with their holograms or their fake ships or whatever it is that they would do, and that they would come in and they'd start going after us, and maybe like start laser beaming buildings like capitals or something. I don't know, some buildings, ones they want to get rid of, because capitals are all like a lot of Tartarian buildings too. So that they would come in, laser those. So for the next reset that they think that they would, wouldn't have those to explain, then they would, but then you'd see these other ships come in who would start fighting them and attacking them. And so I would think that that would be more what would go on. And then but the people, the alien people, the people that people think are aliens, they're on our side. They're there to help us. So they are also against these same people who are corrupting this world. And what was I going to say? There was something else. But if they did come in and start lasering things and stuff, just go into places that you think are safe or whatever. And if you come out of your body, just don't freak out. Just remember, that you are an independent soul and you go wherever you want to go. And don't get all freaked out. Because it could be just like that, just like a snap. you know, you don't even see it coming, and all of a sudden you're out of your body and you're like, wait a minute, what's going on here? And because it will feel weird, because you'll feel like yourself, but you won't be able to do certain things. You won't be able to communicate with people and stuff. So then you've got to, you know, realize and pull yourself into, you know, realizing what's going on. The but um so anyways, them giving more disclosure into what is real, and that a lot of these beings are right here around us. And I think more and more people keep seeing things because of the vibrational merge that's going on, and this Atlas thing coming. That could be uh, that could be a show too. Like, it may not even be real. It could be the Anunnaki. There's no telling. You just gotta see. And I saw this woman in Denmark, this video, and she said there's tons of ships there. She said they're all over the place. And she's heard that they're in other places. So there's ships all around. And it's like, and maybe those are, it could be the hologram thing, and it could be a show of force of like, you know, you're not going to come here and do anything, you know, but there, it's like a protection or something. Like, we're all on the same side. And the thing is because it is realms and realities and dimensional kind of vibrational, is that when they do something, that it interferes with other ones. That's why we're not allowed to use NUKESs, because it interferes, it breaks through certain barriers of vibration and interferes into other realities. Just like what they showed in that one movie, which I've talked about a bunch of times. And I still can't remember. I just watched it too the other day. And I still can't remember what it's called, but it's the one, and it's got Cara Delevingne, whatever her name is. She's in it, so you could look up her movies and see. But it's a sci-fi one, and and it has these blue beings, which I don't know, kind of represent the blue avians, which I think also the what is that other movie? Not Atlantis, not Arcturians, the Avatar. Avatar also, that they use these blue beings, which there's a whole thing with the blue avians and their connection. But anyway, but everything is dimensional. You got to remember that too. And like I said, there can be, like, we could be in this one area right here, and you change the vibration, and you go into another vibration, and it's the same area, but it's a whole different situation happening. And in our situation, we see remnants of another situation, but in that situation, it still is going. You just have to go into that tune, that vibration. And so there can be a lot. It's layers. And so there's like a layers of experience in one place, like. And so and in the movie, it shows, yeah, so these blue beings that are just out there living this tropical life, just living the dream. And all of a sudden, something breaks through. It like causes a rift in their reality. So it like splits into their reality. And it's a war, and it's a battle. And they are trying to run, and they are, NUKE'd, and some of them are in a safe thing, but one of them, her soul is out then. And so I think it's has a lot to do with trying to something with her soul trying to help, or them trying to get her soul or something. There's a whole thing about it, but I always think about that part where they show like this one reality and this rift that comes in that's something to do with a completely different reality, splits through to theirs and interferes with theirs and causes destruction in theirs. And so that is what the NUKEs can do. And so you're not allowed to use them because it interferes with other dimensional realities. And that's why you know, they're not going to do that no matter how many threats go down, and why there's always being ships over places that have those. And if even one goes, that it will take it. It will detonate. It won't detonate. It will make it where it won't work. And supposedly there was conjecture that that whole Hawaii thing was that this thing was headed there, but then a ship came in and made it fall down into the water, or took it or something. And so that whole thing where, you know, Hawaii was going to be blown to smithereens and they had 10 minutes to live or something. And then supposedly a ship came in and was like, took it, because there is like these, I don't know if it is the Galactic Federation or some overseers. But see, there's different realms. That's why I've been saying, like, the Men in Black, they can go to different realms. There's certain beings and individuals, and see, that is one thing, is why they were doing testings and stuff in school, to find beings or find people that they could take and use into these situations. So people who had certain abilities and capabilities, that they could use them in their army forces or whatever, their the government could use them. And so they could create, like the Men in Black, who could go in multi-dimensional into other dimensions and move through and go. And that's where this whole thing with portals and everything comes from, is because that's how you go through. It's like these holes in space-time where the vibration is different, so you can weave through and come out in different places. And so that is like, because there's these layers, and in order to go through the layers, but that's what I've even been saying too about a lot of our reality we exist in right now, where I feel like it's even the maps and stuff, it's like I feel like we are more layered than what we think we are, and that's how we're going to be able to begin to access, like, instead of having to go drive, and, you know, they tell us that we got to go across here and get there, you know, I'm going to go to North Carolina, I've got to drive here, drive there, go there, and all that stuff, when really, I don't think that's what we have to do. I think it's more layered. I think that things are not how they tell us, and that we are going to be able to access into portals and stuff, and we're going to be able to move around much quicker. And so I think that's will come in quicker too, where we'll be able to, we won't need to go, you know, pay. There's so much weird shit coming out about the airlines and stuff now too. Like, there's weird shit. Somebody showed how much, you know, a facility, a big giant metal thing that holds how much gasoline they say that the plane is holding. So the plane needs this much to go, but you go here and you need this whole fucking big building to hold that much. Then I heard somebody talking about the science behind, I don't know, some kind of propulsion of pulling the energy in from outside of it. And so I don't know. I knew that there was something weird about the whole thing with planes, and I think it keeps being more shown to us and stuff. And there's just a lot of weird shit. But the more we go into the real world, I think it's going to be a lot more layered, a lot more dimensional, vibrational, and a lot more access to portals, so we can get to places a lot quicker. So we won't be held back, and we won't be traveling the same way. And I think there's going to be a huge collapse on that too, because it's weird. It's fucking bullshit and shenanigans. So, and I don't even know that people who fly them even have any idea. So I don't know. We'll see how it all plays out. But that's what I think. I think that we are in the world that we are in is multidimensional already. And we just are all on this like more similar vibration. And we may cross through. That may be the whole the whole freeway system. Could be just portals of entry. Just like doorways are portals of entry. Oh, my nose is itching to death. God, I swear to God, these fucking allergy bullshit. Runs and runs, my throat, my nose itching. Yesterday, I swear to God, I was still pulling out hairs out of my eyes and my mouth. It could be still in my nose, too. Um, and the one that I'm going to do Tuesday was the last one where I had this horrible allergy thing, too. That all the fur, and it's a big old, it's huge, it's cute as shit. Big giant golden doodle. Um, and it's so funny because they market it as hypoallergenic, but it's like, fuck, man, going and taking off that hair and having it all in you. I had allergies from it. My eyes were so swollen and red all day. So, anyways, it's all just everything is bullshit. But, anyways, so, yeah, the beings and stuff that are around us that we think are aliens are just like, and a lot of them, since they're multidimensional, they are higher vibrational and they can move through these dimensions, so they can enter and exit out of our reality, and they can come in and come out and stuff. And so they're all around us. It's not something that we need to be in fear of. And they've got people so scared of like these monsters, because even these people are like, oh, most people can't wait for this thing to get here. They're just like, at this point, people don't even care. They're like, you know, come in, just get me out of here, eat me, I don't care, do whatever you want. Which the people who are eating us, they're the lower dimensional people, which what was that? Oh, this was something I had been talking about. And then I heard a thing about this because I had been talking about, I had been seeing it about the food and about who you're eating and what they do, you know, when there's bodies that are unclaimed and stuff like that. Well, now there's more information coming out that unclaimed were going to the real for their soldiers to practice on and stuff. And it also has to do with, there's people over there who live off of, you know, organ music. So they live off of that stuff because the Z's and the Vamps, they live off of this stuff. But yeah, so there's a whole thing that's come out now, what they do with these unclaimed bodies. And I knew it. I knew that there's shit. I didn't know that the army over there was taking it and doing things with it. But and then there's a whole thing too with STEM. You know, those, you know, the big high value cells that we are all in need of, and that even when you go have a baby, the thing that comes out after that is highly full of those cells, and that you're not allowed to, well, some people take it and they go bury it in their yard, but you're not allowed to sell it. But it's big money. And another thing too is the teeth, the wisdom ones that they say, oh, you got to get those out. Well, really, they are full of those cells that are of the stem, and that probably is something that we need throughout our life that would make us not age. We would have a constant reproduction system going. But anyways, they are like, get those out of there. Tell them they have to have them removed. And so all of this stuff, there's all of it's all shenanigans in the back room. It's all a bunch of bullshit. It's also they can get these certain data, a certain life force, this certain stuff from us that they use, and a lot of it gets used in LABs and to create and produce things that we pay for, that we would just keep us our natural stuff and we'll be fine. But no, they're going to take that, put it in an LAB, do some work on it, and then sell it back to us. And then they're going to take the good parts so that they can stay young and we can age. So anyways, there's more coming out, more stuff that is, you know, the truth to this world. and it's all a bunch of shenanigans. So there's going to be, I mean, at the same time where we're on the precipice of this big change in our health and our abundancy and the whole structure of our civilization, there's so much truth and hidden knowledge and hidden history. And so there's going to be huge changes. And just imagine everybody goes into these med beds and all of a sudden they remember, the DNA turns on, they're all got their gifts, you all are talking to their higher selves, and they are all remembering their past lives. There's not going to be any where you're going to have to convince them anymore. They're going to remember for themselves, and that would be a big difference too on because I kept saying, well, how will they change this with the religion? How will they get them to see? But yeah, that would make sense. If you go in there and just those little light comes on and all of a sudden you remember. And it's like, oh, wait a minute. What am I doing here? Which that woman who was on Joe's show, she also said it goes back to the Bible. And they talk about these beings in the Bible. The guy who I heard talking about this, he said it would be back in like the books of Enoch, the hidden books, because they took out different ones because they had to create this scenario of control of, us worshiping and being controlled through fear and stuff. So, but if you go back to some of the books that they took out of it, then it talks more about reincarnation, talks more about these other beings, and so all of the truth and all of this stuff is going to be coming out. And they've created such a limitation in how people look at themselves and look at the world and look at life and stuff. So anyways, that's going to be the exciting thing. There's going to be so many big changes. It's going to be like such a freedom that will be coming in. And I think, a lot of people, even, that have been working and they get to go into retirement, I don't think people are just going to go and sit and be lazy. The whole world is going to open up to them. And people are going to want to learn more things. They're going to want to learn about what they're good at. They're going to want to develop skills. They're going to want to enjoy things like, people are going to go into retirement. They're going to really go into, making pottery, painting pictures, building things, doing things. There are going to be a lot of things that give something back to you. So you feel good about yourself and you feel skilled and you feel like you know how to do things. And we're not going to be, in limitation of how much time we have left. We're going to have endless amounts of time left. That's going to be another thing too. And we'll also probably, meet some people who are 20,000 by our years, 20,000 years old, 50,000 years old and stuff. So we're going to, a whole new world, a whole new existence is going to be opening up to us. So I think it's going to be really, really exciting. And even if you, find yourself outside of your body, that is, just find a new entry point, and you'll have, guides and stuff around you, and you will have beings around you. But if there's this whole thing about them trying to force you into a different life, take your time. Don't just rush back in. I don't know. I mean, because everything's going to be changing. Even this whole entry point, I think, of life after death is going to be changing, because there's been this more structured thing of pushing you back into other realities of certain vibrations where you learn. But there still is going to be that too. There's still going to be people who need to continue their education because they aren't to the point of being able to love everybody. And that's what you have to be in a world full of love where everybody loves everybody. You got to be able to fit in. You can't be a hater and go into a world of love. Just like I couldn't go into a marriage of thinking this person, if they loved me, that I could figure out how to love myself. That's not how it works. So you have to be the initiator of what it is that you want to live in. So you want to live in a place that's full of love. You got to become loving. And that's what you got to be working on. And so anyways, that's what I got to say about it. But it does seem like, I'm telling you, yesterday, I was seeing people I've never seen before. It was video after video. My algorithm was just being overrun by, and that's one thing too, is we won't need to worry about any of this kind of bullshit, trying to do this and do that, because our bodies will go right back into balance. Because now is even another thing is I've heard is silica. Silica is a mineral that we are deficient in that can make your hair fall out too. It's like one thing after another. But when they are depressing our mineral intake and keeping us sick, then yeah, you're going to have all these things that show, your body's going to show, well, it's got this issue, that issue. And I'm going to be curious too. I would think that all the white hair will go away. Nobody's going to have white hair anymore, because it's going to be, the minerals are going to be put back into everything. And I'm going to get my tattoos are going to be gone instantly. Like, there's going to be, man, there's going to be so many changes. I'm curious too to see if there will be people who will be like, oh no, I'm going to keep my tattoos, or if everybody's just going to come out clean skin and this whole tattoo thing is going to kind of go away or something, because of I don't know, it's just weird. It's just weird, some of the things you start looking at from the other side of things. So you look at it this way, but then there starts being transformation, and then you start looking at it this way. But definitely now I just see like all of this toxins that have been put into my body, where it was before, it seemed like, just decorating your body. But now it's like, it's just toxins. It's like, but if people are going to want to be like, well, I'm going to keep some pictures on my body, I don't know that I would want to. I mean, I've been living long years with pictures on my body, so it's like, I'm ready to have clean body. Just, go out and just have no pictures on my body. I'm okay with that. And then, oh, my nose is so freaking itchy. God dang. So, seemed like there was something else I was going to say about abundancy. I don't know. The other day, my palm was itching. I looked that up, and it's like money's coming in. And so, and I do, even if it's not Monday or Tuesday, I do think it's coming. So I don't think it's far-fetched to start thinking, how would I do this? What would I do with this money? What would I do with that money? How would I change my life? Maybe it's just, you want to put in a pool. Maybe you want to get a new roof. Maybe you want to build a bigger house. Maybe you want to add on. Maybe you want a barn. Maybe you want more land. Just think of the different things that you would want. And think of also ways of giving back. I think that's important to, to be a part of a productive system, a positive thing. Like if you're going to, maybe, adopt a few dogs, that's a positive thing. There's all these homeless dogs, and they're just killing them, hundreds of them a day. It's just so sick. So, healthy, beautiful dogs too. Oh my gosh, it breaks my heart. So anyways, all this stuff, like my tooth will grow back instantly, this freaking bullshit thing will go away instantly, all the positive things, all my gallbladder back, won't have all of these issues, I don't think, anymore with my gut. I've like, oh God, it's going to be like fucking a whole new world. Like, I can't wait for it. I just want to keep thinking of all the positives, think of all the positive things that can go on, and all the positive influences it can have over you with having more money, not having to be strapped or stressed, having a good, healthy body, feeling good, having energy, not being drained, not being poisoned every motherfucking day. So anyways, we'll see how it goes, see how it all plays out. But it sure seems like that there's a lot going on. So I'm telling you, it's important to focus on you and focus on being positive, though, because I think, you definitely don't want to be manifesting a bunch of shitty stuff. Like, you want to be manifesting positive things. So really focus on the good stuff that you want, and focus on figuring out how to love yourself and letting go of things. And there's going to be a big push. Like, if that's true, that you're going to go in these beds and all your DNA is going to open up and you're going to remember all your past lives, or you're going to remember a lot of stuff that you're going to have to heal. It's not going to automatically heal you. It's just going to give you more direction of what it is you need to heal, because you still got to do the work. You still got to recognize yourself and allow yourself to not be perfect, and to recognize, the it's recognize the balance between the two sides of yourself, and to accept yourself, because then when you can accept yourself, you can accept others. And so learning how to do that, and all of a sudden, you open up to all these past lives, and all of a sudden you see, like, oh God, I killed that guy, oh I did this, I did that, oh God, I did, a lot of things. That's a lot of stuff that you're still going to have to heal. It's not going to be just like, oh, that's fun table talk. Let's go and all talk about our past lives. You're going to have to, in order to be able to appreciate them, you're going to have to learn how to accept yourself, and learn how to love yourself, and then learn how to love everybody else, and learn how to have the day you want to have. And we're learning right now by figuring out what are the good things you want. What are the positives that you want? How do you want to live out your days? What do you want to do with your time? So anyways, we'll see what goes down today. We'll see how this day rolls out, and we'll talk about it tomorrow. So anyways, I'll talk to you later. Bye.